against.
Alright guys, this is a react to a react.
First of all, what?
This is a react to a react. IGN did a piece on Arc Raiders, and Luke here is talking about it. Luke Stevens. So go give him a follow. I'll chuck a link in the video as well. But I played Arc Raiders. I had a great time on it. So if IGN are trying to bring it down and trying to lift up Marathon, like Luke's saying here, it's pretty poor form. But let's have a watch.
Who in God's green earth encodes a video at 50 frames a second? What? I didn't even know you could do that. Huh, I am not, okay. That's new. Okay, we're all learning stuff today. This is gonna be very educational. I have a feeling we're all gonna learn a lot today. Let's see what's going on. It's only 6 minutes, everybody. You know, oven mitts, pillows, strap into your hands, the face palming energy may be strong. Let's see what they've got.
Arc Raiders is blisteringly, aggressively archetypical. The extractionist extraction shooter that ever extracted.
What?
I'm sorry, already I'm struggling to continue.
It's one of the least surprising games I've ever played. It has so much in common with its inspirations, they're almost comically indistinguishable. For preview purposes, this is a very good thing. If you enjoy other games about scavenging goods while avoiding PvE foes and robbing PvP humans, you're probably going to like Arc Raiders.
Dude, I'm sorry, this footage is painful. Like, I understand not everybody has a PC that is extremely overpriced and excessive, but I like, again, this is literally your job. You know?
Yep.
You know, like I feel like that's kind of the standard to like have a decent capture rig if you're gonna do content on these games. Like, we'll talk about the meat and potatoes, but I just, like, at the outset, the capture already and these types of things are...
Yeah, have a look at my footage compared to theirs. The fuck? What's IGN doing? They must have got paid to do it. So we go videos, playlist, Arc Raiders. It's not really what it looks like anyway. It's not about what it looks like, it's how it plays. It's not always about the cover of the book. It's about what's in the book.
The claim that it's unexciting, I'm just gonna show you one thing, like one clip. I've shown it on stream before, but just a little something here. This was a clip from, let's see, Jake posted it. I don't know if it's from Sergey, but yeah, here. Just look at this. I would define this as surprising. That does not strike me as archetypical archetype. Like, that to me is surprising and shocking and exciting that something like that could happen. But okay. I played some Arc Raiders. I didn't play as much as I would have liked because of some of the other stuff that was going on at the time. But I think Arc Raiders is kind of it really is in many ways Marathon's worst nightmare, because it is a very well built out extraction shooter that is feature, maybe not complete, but like it's very much, it has a lot more features than Marathon does currently, which I think is more a testament to how lacking Marathon is necessarily. But it's a solid game, and a lot of people connected with it. Every day of the Arc Raiders playtest, their average player count went up. Every day of the Marathon game, except for a couple of instances, it went down. Like, the charts were literally opposite, and it's because Arc Raiders was exciting people and Marathon was boring people. And it's fine to have an outlier opinion, an outlier perspective like this from IGN, but I mean, at some point I also have to wonder if you like what we're doing here, if you're so far off based on a lot of things. But let's continue. Let's see. Let's give it a chance.
While avoiding PvE foes and robbing PvP humans, you're probably going to like Arc Raiders. If you don't, then there's likely nothing new here to tempt you. This is a game so unabashedly tied to its progenitors that the hero's default melee weapon is a pickaxe, the same weapon Fortnite metaverse heroes dropping off of battle buses lug into combat. That's a cute enough homage, but it's only the
What? Oh my god, I can't stop.
tip of the iceberg for the ways Arc Raiders will be instantly
Like in the tutorial. Okay.
comprehensive
Well, let him
for
keep
those
talking.
who play Battle Royale, tree-punching survival games, or extraction. There's very little that feels truly original, but the components bolted together from other successful live service games click predictably and produce a satisfying result.
Okay, Jared Petty. That may be appropriate because it feels like a lot of the counters are petty. So you're bringing up that you have a like pickaxe as your melee weapon by default, and so therefore it's taking that from Fortnite. I mean, I'm not okay. Wait.
Go to the surface and get back underground alive with better loot than you started with. Two forces stand in the way of that growth.
Wrong.
The first are the Ark, AI-controlled battle robots that wander the map searching for any sign of organic life. The Ark are no trifling threat. Even the smallest bots can prove surprisingly dangerous, especially in groups. The little...
Bro, what? I don't... Okay, I played the same preview he's talking about, okay? This is captured from the early access preview before the whole thing went up with the public.
What was it using his pickaxe?
But with the closed alpha that they did. So I've played this version of the game. I don't even know how on earth, like how low the settings were set to achieve this. And there's no way to really say this without sounding like a hoity-toity, holier-than-thou a-hole, and I apologize for that. But like, again, it's literally your job to have a decent capture rig, to play the game at a decent level so it doesn't look like garbage. Like, I understand not everybody has the ability to have a high-end PC, that's fine. But you work for IGN, you're making this piece for IGN. They should at least let you borrow a computer from them or capture it on theirs or something. If you don't have a high-end gaming PC, that's fine. But again, it's your job, and IGN's covering this, and you would think that they would at least have the standard to get there, unless it's intentional. The old saying is never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by incompetence. And I'm telling you what, I have never in my life seen a video rendered at 50 frames a second, except for maybe the Hobbit movies that were rendered at 48. And that was for like cinematic reasons because of the way the projectors worked and everything, because you had to take the 24 frames and double it. But I've never seen gaming content produced at 50 frames. I think the more likely explanation is that like the quality of the rig, the graphic setup, the capture, all of this is probably easier to attribute to incompetence if you're exporting a video at 50 frames. I know that sounds mean, Luke. I'm sure he is a nice guy, whoever did this. I'm sure they're a very nice guy. But if you're rendering a gaming impressions video at 1080p 50 and your settings are to like sub potato levels, like, it makes me not take it as seriously. I'm sorry, maybe that's unfair, but that's just how I'm feeling. So I'm going to tell you about it because that's what I do.
The little spider-like scurriers are downright upsetting for an arachnophobe like me, and the large crawlers do not mess around. Ark wander the map listening for the sounds of search or battle and swarm any humans they find.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was a typo. In here, and like maybe YouTube was glitching out, but no, it actually is. Jeez, dude.
The Ark are especially dangerous in numbers, and there are plenty of subtle little traps set where clusters of different Ark with complementary abilities are placed near one another, sometimes hidden in indoor areas, or one can literally trip into them. I met my fate more than once when I got overconfident around Ark. One crawling monstrosity literally spun to the air with its legs like some kind of Cyclops spider helicopter. Take down an Ark, though, and the rewards can be worth your trouble. They generally contain ammo and weapon components. The second and more deadly threat are your fellow raiders. If you choose to play Arc Raiders, you best enjoy watching your back, because to quote Casablanca,
This place is full of vultures everywhere.
it's often more efficient to fall upon a fully loaded player who isn't paying attention than
I've also noticed IGN doing that a lot more, is these like little inserts of movies or TV shows or memes. It's almost like they got a directive from the bosses to make the videos like funnier or more witty, and so they were told to put in more of those, because some of them feel like really out of place. Look how smooth that clip was. Well, yeah, because it wasn't recorded like
Everywhere.
it's
on a
often
PC that was exploding.
more efficient to fall upon a fully loaded player who isn't paying attention than to risk a half hour of bracing open doors in a nearby warehouse, or to lurk near an extraction point and cut somebody down when they're about to escape. Of course, every other raider is likely looking to do the same to you. Combat is competent enough to be satisfying. Your third-person avatar moves and controls like most other third-person avatars in modern shooters, with no real irregularities.
Like 2 dropped frames, 1 dropped frame, 1 dropped frame, 1 dropped frame, another dropped frame, 2 dropped frames. Like this is playing in like the low 20s. If you told me this was like Steam Deck capture, I'd probably believe you. It's kind of crazy. Like, and again, it's like, this isn't just about, if you don't like extraction shooters, that's fine. If you don't like Arc Raiders, that's fine. But there's a certain standard I think we should hold a 19 million sub channel to. Like, just some basic standards. Again, look at like the gameplay reveal that they posted for this with an early build of the game. This is what it looks like when like you care to this point. And maybe, you know, when people are like, unless it's intentional, I think maybe careless is the best word. So one of you guys in chat said it's not malicious, it's careless. I think you might, that might be exactly right. Like, they didn't care to give this game the time of day and put the effort in to give this guy access to a higher NPC that didn't have the higher standard. Like, straight up, and Jacob can attest to this in chat, and Trevor too if he's in chat. If they sent me a draft of a video that looked like this and they had exported at this point, I would laugh at them and ask them if they're joking. And I would demand that they redo it, because like, this doesn't meet my quality standards. And I'm a dude talking about video games in my basement. Like, why do I have higher standards than a 19 million sub channel that's been around for decades? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Yes, I also remember when I kept accidentally exporting stuff in VR somehow. That was nuts. Yes. Now we can laugh about it. At the time, it was like, Jacob, I don't want to watch this VR stuff. Every video like had the fisheye thing where it was very funny. It was very funny. Again, now we can laugh about it. At the time, it was quite frustrating, I'm sure.
Bullets mostly go where you want them to, depending on the capabilities of your chosen weapon, and melee attack power is substantial. Firearms feel right, SMGs are springy and difficult to control, assault rifles steady and heavy, sniper rifles punch like artillery.
That looked... I'm sorry. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's crazy.
Playing in teams of three.
Everyone IGN should have 5090 during reviews, big capture cards. I thumbs down on IGN all the time because of how god-awful their quality is. No, I wouldn't even say 5090. I don't think they should have 5090s. My policy is that I try to have a gaming PC that I like to game on. My big boy gaming PC here that has a 4090 in it. And so I play most of my games on that. But I also, when I'm doing reviews of PC ports of games, I play it on like my gaming laptop, which has a 3070 in it, which is just about in line with what the standard and average gaming PC is capable of, according to the Steam benchmark thing that they put out, or the Steam survey thing they put out. I think now it might be the 4060 is now the most popular by like volume, but in terms of power, it's about a 3070. So I think like you should review games, or at least talk about the performance with like at least what the normal performance is going to be. That I think is the standard that there should be. That's also just me, I guess. But it seems like you should either aim for what the average is going to be, the average performance for the average player, or you play it on the highest end thing and try to make the game look as best as it can. You would think. You would think. You're saying look up their marathon coverage. Well, so here's the thing. Let me pull it up so I can show you. So this is done by a separate team. This is exported at 60 frames, not 50. Still at 1080p, which seems, I think the capture they gave us was 1440p, I believe. I don't recall. But isn't it funny how seeing a video exported at 1080p 60 is all of a sudden an achievement? You know, isn't that funny? It's just the standards. You gotta love the standards. Yeah, this all looks good. Okay. And in terms of the compression and how they actually like exported it, you can usually tell how I can tell, like even when Jacob sends me drafts, is in a clip like this, if the gunfire goes off, the screen moves really quickly like this. If your bit rate's too low, the leaves would get blurred out immediately. This quick pullback, you would have none of this detail over here. So this was exported by somebody that knows what they're doing, at least somewhat. Like they've gotten the bare minimum of watchable quality in 2025, which I can appreciate. But the thing that they do is that IGN has all of these employees. I don't know how many employees they have total, but they have a ton of different people, and some of them really know what they're doing. And others, I think, don't. And I think the problem is that because it all gets lumped in as IGN, you have this wildly inconsistent quality in coverage, in review quality, in overall output. And it makes you not take the platform seriously. Because sometimes you get good quality like this, and other times you get this. What the hell is even that?
3 adds a bit of depth to the battle, as you and your companions can search and cover for each other much more systematically.
What brand are my pants? Today, Viore. You get that one for free.
Jesus.
Little bit like that, yeah. You're welcome.
Firefights between teams develop a sense of strategy, as coordinating squads deploy flanking tactics and ambushes against groups of foes. Whether calling out directions, overhearing sounds, or covering all windows in a room, your 3-person squad will find plenty of tension waiting in those buildings. Cleverly designed maps draw the characters in. The most lucrative resource hubs are clearly marked, and players flock to the richest areas looking for food, or hover between the treasures and the extraction areas, waiting to dispossess the luckiest foragers of their well-worn games. The environments are passable, with the usual collection of rusty warehouses, abandoned apartment buildings, and overgrown vacant lots you'll find in a lot of post-apocalyptic shooters. Everything is serviceable, but it all kind of feels like they gave Fortnite a coat of DayZ grime and moved on.
What?
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 Again, what is it with the comparison to Fortnite? This is the second one, and how on
What?
earth is this similar to Fortnite?
Fortnite's not an extraction shooter.
It all kind of feels like
It's
they
Battle
gave
Royale.
Fortnite a coat of DayZ grime and moved on.
That I just genuinely don't understand that one. The pickaxe made sense. Like, at least it's pickaxe. Fortnite has pickaxe. Okay. Like, Fortnite, you can like break anything and cut your way through buildings and stuff. So it's a totally different use case. Whereas this is mainly used for melee and for prying open boxes and crates and stuff. It's like, it was a stretch. But saying the maps are like a DayZ coat of paint on Fortnite, I just genuinely don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
I don't.
It's a boring enough world to certainly took me out of any chance of getting into the lore, but I don't really think lore is the big draw here anyway.
It's a boring enough. Okay. You're allowed to find it boring. You're allowed to not like it. It's the comparison to Fortnite that just doesn't make any sense.
Arc Raiders is meatloaf without much plate presentation, but the meatloaf is tasty, if a little cold.
How dare you badmouth Meatloaf like that? Meatloaf is great. I don't. Yeah, me and my wife, we've had it out over this too. She doesn't like Meatloaf. I grew up on Meatloaf. I like Meatloaf. A good Meatloaf, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. It's like a super condensed collection of various flavors and meats. It's awesome. It's awesome. I don't care what anyone says. Also, the singer is pretty good too. Let me sleep on it.
Every drawing cabinet is a
let me
potential
sleep on
source of
it.
wealth. Crafting components, ammunition, shields, healing items, and weapons. Ammunition is properly segmented enough to keep you hungry as you scavenge and construct guns. Light, medium, heavy, and shotgun ammo variants are available early to locate in the overworld, craft in your lair, or purchase underground. Materials have the usual predictable levels of rarity corresponding to color, with certain colors granting you the ability to develop more useful or rare items. A single special pocket in your inventory allows you to keep one discovered item safe, even on the event of your death, so that you can haul your rarest finds home.
One of the coolest little additions, and I think Marathon could also use something like that, just a safe pocket. So if you find something that is super valuable, You take the time, you move it into that specific safe spot in your inventory. You can't pull it out, you can't quick use it if it's a consumable or anything. You have to specifically go and put it like that. It's awesome. When you paused it, it was a moment, I think the audio desynced in the video.
That you can haul your rarest finds home, even when you die. Some containers take time to open and generate quite a bit of noise when manipulated, which is a delightful tension-raising mechanic that I really appreciated. Opening one of these was especially harrowing when playing solo. You can really feel the vulnerability with your camera locked forward, not knowing what path...
When he shot the turret, oh, the audio desynced there. See, we're at 458.
Meatloaf is tasty, if a little cold. Every drawing...
Did too.
Again, I can't say I'm too surprised. Again, like, if this, I wouldn't be like this. I wouldn't be so bitchy if this were like an individual creator, okay? Like, if this were just a guy making YouTube videos and stuff, it's fine. We all start somewhere. You work for IGN. Like, you're working on, again, a 19 million sub channel with hundreds of millions of dollars of funding, you know, year over year going through the company. Like, again, the standard should be at least a little higher than this. Again, I'm some loser in a basement right now talking about video games, and my standards are higher than this. So I think it's fair to bring it up, you know? Like, at least I think so. Maybe people in the comments of this clip will be like, Luke, you're being too mean to IGN. You need to loosen up. They're trying their best. I don't know. But I feel like IGN of all outlets should hold themselves to a higher standard. And until they do, they're going to continue being like kind of largely IGN Nord. Get it?
Come on.
I'll move on. Sorry.
Not knowing what passing robot or player might discover you as you make an ugly racket jimmying a door. You spend your time between rounds underground, where you convert your ill-gotten gains to an ever-escalating series of crafting tables, allowing for the creation of ever more elaborate gear. You can also choose to straight liquidate materials and finds for cash, and purchase fully crafted items at in-game stores. There's also some part of crafting that involves a live rooster. I never figured that part out.
Oh.
This is the first thing you craft, dude. It's like one of the first things you do. This little Scrappy the Rooster. You see level 1. After you craft this, you then get access to basic gear. It's like literally the first thing you do. And he says he never figured that out. Okay. Starting to make sense.
As you explore the world above
Things
the
are
game
connected.
experience, which opens up across a series of skill trees. Selecting various branches can help you optimize your avatar to your first increasing combat ability, mobility, or stealth. The different abilities are clearly labeled, and most are useful enough that every step feels like real progress. Character design with default options is pretty...
Dude, they're really bad. Okay, this is beside the point, because they're gonna improve it, is my understanding. Dude, I can't just pull up Discord and see this. How am I supposed to continue my train of thought when I pull up Discord and this is the first thing I see? Damn it! Okay, hold on, where is it? My buddy, yeah, here. My buddy Corey, we played Fav Creators. He was one of the people in my party, and this was his character. They need some adjustment. Okay? Like, they need a little more. Playable characters, I agree, need some more. We can agree on that.
But a number of better textures and outfits open up when you apply premium currency. I deliberately made my guy look as bleak and sad as possible using only default options, but my multiplayer partner had the Souls Easy top man with no name vibe going on, and I was envious. Fav Creators previews pretty well, perhaps because its design conservatism makes it so instantly familiar. There's nothing here to challenge what came before, but sometimes that's okay. Overall, the Fav Creators loop seems pretty well tuned to satisfy. Make it to the surface to loot and kill, bring your goods and experience back underground to improve your abilities, head back up stronger to find stronger gear, and repeat. There are worse ways to spend an afternoon. For more previews of the big...
Yeah, and you compare it, it's just night and day with the marathon coverage. Again, I think people who are saying that this is like an intentional hit piece, I don't think I believe that. To me, given how often we talk about how crappy IGN's quality is, I think it's easier to conclude that it's just a lack of care and it's incompetence that can explain it. Either way, I think it's unacceptable. That's my perspective. I think, you know, you see that they can at least capture and upload and export videos in decent quality elsewhere. Why do they not have like a PDF explaining how to do that to all employees? And why do they not have a supervisor that looks at all the uploads and makes sure they're of a good quality before publishing? Like, how does that not happen? I don't, I genuinely don't understand how you could have a platform this big with this many employees and not have that be one dude's job. And if it's not ready, you send it back to the editor and you say, fix it. Like if I sent Jacob to do a preview event and he brought me back footage at this quality, we'd have a problem. I'd be like, I don't think we can make a video on this, because this is so crappy. Like, again, this is almost like he was playing on a mini, like, you know, one of those mini PCs that you put in your pocket. This is like sub Steam Deck quality. The upscalers are working overtime on all edges, and even then it's at like 20 frames a second, maybe. Like, I would love to know if somebody could pixel count this and see what it's running at, because it's gotta be at like sub 720p. You might not be able to tell watching this video on the stream, but if I zoom in, maybe you can tell just how little detail is actually there. It's just like, it's unacceptably poor. So I don't think it's like an intentional thing. Yes, we will make our creators look bad to save Marathon. I don't think that's what's happening. I just think they don't know what they're doing.
Logan Levesque donated $10 through Super Chat. Let's not kid ourselves. This kind of review is dangerous to and increasingly common for a lot of these journalists. This is how you destroy credibility of journalism. This goes beyond gaming.
Well, it certainly makes this outlet not be taken seriously, which I think is already a consequence we are seeing elsewhere and in all of their other coverage, is that people just don't take them as seriously. And like, we've been talking about this.
Oh no.
You guys probably know better than me because I just ramble about it. But I feel like we've mentioned this on stream for a year plus, maybe even 2 years. It's been a consistent problem for a long time that we've seen with IGN in coverage of all sorts of different games. And it keeps happening because they have a big platform, they get access to the games, but they just don't have standards. Like, I just genuinely don't understand how they could be so careless. Like, it's carelessness or it's incompetence or both, and maybe it is both. Because I just genuinely don't know how you end up with something this bad so regularly. Like, if this happened once on a channel I ran, Luke Stevens Live, Luke Stevens, or on Luke Stevens Clips, if I saw comments like this, I'd be like, what the hell are we doing? And I'd watch the video and it'd be like, oh God, who did this? You see, people pause. The most replayed thing is right here with this fire effect, because this is so bad. If you played the playtest, you'd know that this is unacceptable. So I don't know, man. It's really, really bad. In the case of Black Myth Wukong, that I felt was a really bad faith. Hit piece could be, I think, a valid term with that, because I thought that one was so disingenuous. This, I think, is more just production quality and competence. He's allowed to not like the game. That's fine. The comparison to Fortnite's levels is weird. I don't understand that. He was right here.
Well, it kind of feels like they gave Fortnite a coat of DayZ grime and moved on.
I genuinely don't know what he's talking about there. But, like, you're allowed to preview a game and not like it, even if you work at IGN. That's okay. I'd rather them be honest than glaze it when they don't mean it. That's fine. The primary problem here is, like, the presentation and execution of this, and especially when you're going to comment on the environments.
Horrible, man. Let's look at it side by side with my footage. Headlock. I don't know if I had it on full or not. What kind of game? What's a loop? A high voltage converter. Game look way better than that. That's not the game. Look at this. That is not the game, man. This is on OBS as well. I think I might have some raw footage. Dun, 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 dun. Just gotta find it. Just gotta find it. Wow. Oh my god, how long is this taking to load? Yep. Oh, that's Assassin's Creed. What about up here? Maybe I didn't record any on the capture. Assassin's Creed. Just killed a boss just with throwing stuff. Didn't even do anything. Evil bitch. Let's go. Copy. Oh, I've done that one. Yeah, so I don't think I have any raw footage of this game, but yeah, just looking at that.
You're going to comment on things like sound design or the environments just in general, and then this is what you're presenting to people as what you saw. When people can see elsewhere how it looks when it's properly executed, it's just, you shouldn't be surprised when people give you crap. So there you go. IGN, for the love of God, get some standards, and maybe we will stop making fun of you. Maybe, but you gotta have standards. I genuinely don't understand how they, like, they can just have literally no bar, just be like, whatever. Who cares? Who cares? I don't know, whatever. It's just, it's so stupid to me. It's, I can't fathom not caring enough to even put in like a bitrate standard. When you put a video on our channels, export it here, upload it like this at this resolution, this bitrate. There you go.
Logan Levesque
They don't even care
donated
that
$10
much.
through Super Chat. First world problem, but I'm actually getting antsy, almost upset waiting for the Marvel's Wolverine. Obviously I am not entitled to any info. And no, I don't want to see half-baked in dev footage.
Totally fair. And you shouldn't. One of the downsides of doing this, one of the very few downsides of doing what I do for work, is that anything like that leaks will get sent to me 15,000 times. So even if I don't want to be spoiled, I will be spoiled. It just happens. People will even like code it into like heartfelt messages about how like they dealt with depression, and it's just an email. It's very heartfelt, and then at the very bottom, as you're reading it, they put in a story spoiler for something, and it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's crazy. But I forget which one that was for. It was a story spoiler for, I don't think it was The Last of Us. It was more recent than that, but there was some story spoiler that, it was okay, I about spoiled it as well. There's a certain story thing that happens at the end of Hogwarts Legacy. Something happens to a character, and they put that in there and spoiled it that way. But anyway, they're very resourceful. So I've seen a lot of the in development footage of Wolverine against my will, and it's just been put in front of me. And I still think that game's gonna be really good. It never made sense to me why people were like, no, they're gonna cancel the game now. What? Like, because some early dev footage leaked, they're gonna cancel the game? Like, what are you talking about? Why would they do that? People were also saying, I think they're gonna cancel GTA 6 now that gameplay footage leaked like 2 years ago. Are you high? What are you talking about? Like, what? Didn't make any sense. He took my thing. Red flag.
16 times the detail.
Huh? Where's the cord from the Xbox?
Hey guys, it's Nate, aka the Foot
Hey,
Accountant.
Nate.
Welcome back to the channel. A lot
Nate.
of Mega Talks has dropped, and all
That's
this
it.
hype with great Evos, good SBCs, and
Nate.
of course, great cards.
The next one, mate. Alright, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you think. If you played Arc Raiders, tell me. And are they going to release it soon? Tell me in the comments. See you in the next one. Bye.